Hey there, Dave Ross from Portland, Oregon. Just going to take a few minutes to talk about the magnitude of what happened in the women's 800 meters yesterday. I've been thinking about this since it happened yesterday, and I've had a lot of time to process it. And the more I think about it, the more I think about what an amazing race it was. Let's take a quick look at the all-time list in the women's 800 meters. We're going to start with the current world record, Jarmila Kratochvílová of Czechoslovakia. She ran 153.28 back in 1983. Second fastest of all time is Nadezhda Olazarenko. She ran 153.43 in 1980, and that was to win the Olympics in Moscow. And then we have the time that was run yesterday. Audrey Wero ran 153.98, currently the third fastest in history. Then it goes to Pamela Jalimo of Kenya, 154.01. Then Caster Semenya, 154.25. And then the time that Keely Hodgkinson ran yesterday, 154.33. Let's talk a little bit about this all-time list. Let's start with Nadezhda Olazarenko. So in the late 70s and early 80s, the Eastern Bloc and Russian governments were running government-mandated doping programs. There's history of it in the Eastern Bloc, documentation to prove this, and the Russians obviously were well engaged. This started in the late 70s. Tatiana Kazankina immediately comes to mind in 1976. She won the 800 and the 1500 in the 1976 Olympics, and in 1976 ran 356.60. She ended up setting a world record of 352 and change, which stood for, I believe, 13 years until it was broken by one of the Chinese runners. And then finally, 35 years after Kazankina, we had a new world record that's set that may be more legitimate. So again, the Russians, where do you want to look the best? 1976, you've got Kazankina, the former world record holder at the 800, before Olazarenko took over. And so Olazarenko, again, 1980 Olympic gold medalist. And where do you want your athletes to look the best? In the Olympics on home soil in Moscow in 1980. So do we believe that those athletes were clean? We absolutely do not. So that's a factor here in this all-time list. Let's go back to Jarmila Kratochvílová. That's a mouthful, isn't it? That record, again, she had the 47.99 400 meter record before Marita Koch ran 47.60. Again, Koch, part of that East German government mandated doping program, well documented there. And was anyone clean? If you're looking through the pages of Runner's World in the early 80s there, and you see someone lifting weights and you think for a minute, oh, it's Steve Scott, but it's not. It's Jarmila Kratochvílová. Not exactly what we would call a feminine mystique there. So again, let's eliminate the number one and number two all-time 800 meter runners on this list and say that Audrey Wero's third time yesterday, the third time ever run, I would say is probably the legitimate world record right now. So let's stop and appreciate how great that race was yesterday. After Audrey, you have Pamela Jalimo, 154.01. I don't have any issues with that. And then it goes to Caster Semenya. I'm sorry, but nobody who has a Y chromosome should be on this list with XX females. So let's take them out of the equation. And if you look at it that way, Audrey ran the fastest time in history. Behind Pamela Jalimo, that would make Keely the third fastest time in history. So that's a real breakdown of what I feel happened yesterday. The first and third fastest times in history for 800 meters, so legitimate world record. Funny thing talking about the Russians, about Kazankina again. Her career ended in 1984 when she refused to take a doping test at a meet and got an 18-month suspension. So were the Russians clean? No. Was Kratochvilova clean? No. So appreciate really what happened yesterday in that 800-meter world record race. You have what's probably the clean world record. Audrey Guerrero, was that a huge shocker? No, I don't think so. Her progression has been really good. She was actually second to Keely at the World Indoor Championships this year in Poland. And she ran 156.64 there to Keely's 155.30. Audrey ran 157.76 in 2024, improved to 155.91 in 2025. And then again, improving to that 153.98 yesterday. So that's my real breakdown of the women's 800 meters, a little bit of history, and what I feel should be the legitimate world record, which took place yesterday.